Okay. So I put that again. User dot name, user dot email versus user two.
Yeah, you're right. It is a little slightly more complicated than like the regular tuple.
Yes, exactly. But the yes, typically yes, it's look more like you are accessing a variable of a class.
Yeah, it seems like you're saving, I mean, exactly a variable of a class.
So typically you use a tuple in this way.
Yes.
You access it exactly like a list. Okay,
Uh-huh.
but what he's giving you difference here is that he make you access it as if it is a variable of a class, like we said. So actually, in reality, a name tuple in the way that he is creating it here is actually it's a class, it's an object. So that's why it appears like he's accessing.
That's what I
So
was thinking, because if you can use it like that, it should be a class itself, right?
yes, yes, basically it's a class. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So actually, even internally, even when you use it like that, he make it advanced in a way that you can access it like that. But basically, the real thing inside it is a class, but he's making it easier. But don't let us go into too much details here. But this
Okay.
is what I just want to explain to you. So um, let us go back to your solution
Okay.
here. So your solution here, you
Okay, so
just
yeah, right here, could you show me what this type of name tuple would look like?
yes, that it should look like that. So basically, what you did again,
Yeah.
let's go back again here.
Yeah, I wanted to
What you
see.
did is
Okay.
just this is what you created, right? You just pass it a tuple as traditional way. But
Okay.
if I look to the assignment, he was talking about
Oh, I
creating
see.
names. So he said, "Oh, this is a name. So this is I'm creating a tuple. No, first I'm defining the tuple here first.
Okay.
So I have a customer information tuple that I will use it many times. Okay, so I created that type of tuple, name tuple, and I will always call it a customer info. And these two are always similar.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then I list here the content or the elements that I want to call. Uh, no, it's a name. I would say it's not the elements. It's a name of the elements that I want to include in the tuple. So if I have three elements, so I will give here three names.
But do you see how there's comma separating customer info, but name, contact, guest count, they're all separate variables, but there's no comma separating them.
Yes, because the difference between so the thing here, he have two ways of doing so. One time that he just give it as a string, and another time if we look at before, you mean at this example that we opened, he will pass it as a list, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. So
Um,
see here, let me remove all this. So if you can notice here, yes, he put a comma just because he make it a list. He's
uh-huh.
passing a list here. Okay. So in the example that he is it is
Yeah,
passed to
because
you.
he passed it all as one string. So that's what I'm confused at.
Yes, but he's able to use a split because there is a space in between them.
Oh, there's a split. Oh, I see. Okay.
I mean, no, internally, he doesn't use he object in front of you. He doesn't use it, but you
Okay.
have to be able to separate them. You have to he have internally to use um, how
Split.
to say a
Okay.
split. Yes,
I
okay,
see.
but here is he's passing it as a list, and also as a list, he's able to go through them and know the size of it and go through it. So this is an internal implementation that he do for you inside the name tuple. You don't
I
have to worry
see.
about it. You
Okay.
just need to call. So once you define a tuple user, you just need to call it this way, user, and pass it all the information, and
I
that's
see.
it.
It's
This
kind of
is
like an object that way.
Yes, exactly, an object, and he is handling the difficult part for you. You
I
pass
see.
it either as a list here, or
Uh-huh.
even like a string, like I shared with you a few while ago here. And he
Uh-huh.
is doing the hard job for you. You don't care about anything except that you just define it, you
Uh-huh.
pass it. If
We
it
don't
is a
really
string,
have we don't really have to worry about the split here then.
no, you don't have to worry about that. It's not your job. It's his
Okay.
job. Okay,
All
he
right.
implemented that part for you. So
Okay.
here, so the customer information. So once I define a tuple that is called a customer info, and
Uh-huh.
then
Then we create
I
the
start
uh-huh.
customer. I create customer one, customer information 1, 2, and 3, and then I pass each um, a different name, different contact, different guest count.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and so the difference between me and your code and the code here
Uh-huh.
is that, so see, I already defined the customer. This is the customer class, and look here now at your customer class. So we reach the same destination. You are calling the customer class here, but you are passing it a normal tuple,
I
and
see.
you supposed to pass a named tuple. A named tuple means that you have to pass it an object.
Okay.
So I'm passing here an object that have a name. From where this object is here.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, that is the only difference. Except that your code is okay, except um, a
Yeah.
slight.
Yeah. Could we look at the other issues too of it?
Yes, yes, because yeah. So here, let me open the code. That was 11. Let me see. So Moise, that is your code? No, that's not your code. Let me check if I can get you your code. Yeah. Okay. So Moise, I think yeah, that is your code. If you can see with me, this is the part that we was just now discussing about the tuple,
Yes.
and the tricky part here. So he is telling you here that we are generating numbers between. He didn't tell you generate what, but he tell you we have 3 tables, so we need to generate numbers for 3 tables. But he said to you
He said
something.
0, 3.
Yes, from 0 to 3. Yes, it's true. But then he told you that when it is 0, you don't do anything,
Oh.
right? But then I noticed that you create that code, so it is acceptable. It will work, but that is
It's not necessary.
not necessary.
I
Why?
see.
Because I know that only when it is 0, I don't need to do anything.
Correct.
And when it is above 0, then I need to do something. So when it is above 0, it means that I am talking about the 3 tables: table 1, table 2, table 3, right? So
Yes.
so when here, so I would say I only no need to put that, I only will put one if statement, which
Yes.
is
If
it is
it's not
bigger than,
0.
yes,
Or
if it
it
is
be
bigger
bigger
than
than 0.
0, it's bigger than 0, then I execute that code. So
I,
and
yeah.
also in that code I can combine many things that you write here.
You're
So
right. Yes.
okay, one more thing. So here also this if statement is not necessary. Why? Look at this code. So this code will check every time it will loop through. So here we will keep looping through this kind of code until
Mhm.
this condition, as long as this condition is always true.
Uh-huh.
So we want to say, while the wait list that we created, a wait list is a queue. Okay. So this queue, as long as it's not empty, go and generate a random number and do this kind of execute.
Oh yeah,
code.
so that I basically did the same thing twice.
Exactly. So you don't need to write that code again, because again, every time he loops through the whole code, he already checked that once here. So you don't need to do that here. Okay.
Okay.
That's one thing. And then I would say, let me just share with you how the code should looks like. So
Okay.
it should look like this kind of. So again, your random number, as I told you a while ago, you should generate from 0 to 3. And you should say that if it is not 0, then you execute. So if you can say not 0, or even bigger, or bigger than 0, also it's fine. Okay. But the point here, so if we use that, use smart. I like that when you do it. So you know already that random number generated will be always. So we know that you already created a restaurant list. A list always start from 0, 1, and 2. Am I right? Any list start from 0.
Yes.
And then the number generated, we don't want 0. When it is coming, a random number is 0, we don't do anything. So it means that the random number generated will be 1, 2, 3. This is the possibility of the numbers generated from random number, right? So it means, it means that we are always shifted by 1. So because our list of tables is table 0, table 1, table 2, and the random number generated is 1, 2, 3. Did you get that or not?
Could you explain that one more time?
Okay, yes, sure. So look at here the randomly generated number. We generate 0, 1, 2, 3, right?
Correct.
Okay. I mean, of course, it is randomly generated, but this is a possibility that we can generate. And we said we put an if condition here. If it is 0, we don't do anything, which is fine. Okay. And if it is bigger than, or if it is not 0, it means that we have to put a code that talk about 1, 2, 3. When we generate a random number that is equal 1 or 2 or 3, then we have to execute that code. So we accessing a restaurant. Where is the restaurant? So you see here is the restaurant. I added tables to restaurant, right? How many tables I added? Table 1, table 2, and table 3. But when I added table 1, it's actually inserted in that list like that. It will come to here. Table 2 will come here. Table 3 will come here. This is a list. So it's a list of objects, right? But then what we know, that the index of that position is 0, and the index of that element here for table 2, it is 1, the index in the list. And here the index is 2. So if I want to access table 1, what should I write? I should come here and write restaurant, and then I put the square brackets 0, right? But how can you do that? How can you do that and the generated numbers is 1, 2, 3? So you needed to subtract. So see here, come here. So you needed to come here and say random minus 1. So it means that when you are past the 1, you subtract. So it means that you are accessing table 1.
Because
the first
it
element is shifted by 1
into 0. You have to add -1 so you can. Oh, I see now.
So to be able to, because if you only accept the random numbers as it is, you will never be able to access the first table.
Correct.
Okay.
I see now. Oh, I didn't even realize about this.
So that is the only trick. I mean, yes, this is one of the tricks. Yes, here. Okay. And yeah. So yeah, this is these two parts here, I think you also this one you didn't write it correct, but this one you write it correct. This line you write it correct, no problem. I just want to confirm your understanding here.
Okay.
Do you know when we have a wait list, which is a queue? This
Yes.
queue, when you use get, let me test you here.
Okay.
It will remove. So when I get something from a queue, it means that I get it out and then assign it to a variable the way that I did it here. And you have done the same. But do you know that when I get it in this way, it actually remove it from the queue? Do you understand that? So wait, you see, this is the queue. Here is the queue.
Yeah, because it wouldn't put it back into the queue if it's already done with it.
Yes, but not all. I mean, yes, of course, yes, definitely. I just wanted to confirm that you understand. Once you use the get method, you take it out from the queue. It's not there anymore. It disappears.
Because we just need to receive it.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So if this is clear, then I got nothing else to explain to you here. I am done. Okay.
Okay.
So now we can move to your latest assignment, which is
Number 12.
yes, book 12. Let me see. So before we do that, so Moise, let me test your understanding here so that we can start working properly on the assignment with a complete understanding.
Okay.
You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So do you understand what is the meaning property decorator?
I don't.
Okay, that is good. I want to also understand from you. Do you know what the difference between a private variable in a class and a public variable?
Yeah, the underscore ones, like in the beginning, those ones are more secure. And then the regular ones you can use either the underscore in the beginning at the end or like in a normal way. But the underscore ones are like kind of built-in kind of ones.
Okay, so okay, that's fine. But so in general, wise, I think um, even when you write, security, but again, wait. This have a strong application in security. If you told me from the start that your focus on security, I would have tried things from a different perspective. But never
Oh.
mind. It's good that we understand now. So,
Uh-huh.
Moise, when I have when I wrote a code either for machines or even for mobile applications.
Uh-huh.
I faced certain difficulty that or bugs when I have maybe 10,000 lines of code and maybe more than 20 or 30 files,
Uh-huh.
separate classes that I have, and that I spread my code inside it, I
Uh-huh.
have certain variables that I never know uh, when or how or who change it. So I have a variable inside my class, or not a class, but just inside a code.
Uh-huh.
This for take it as if it is the title variable and it is not private. When it is public, it means that anybody by mistake, you yourself can put a code by mistake that change the content of the title variable. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So your code, you will never know which code that you wrote in this 10,000 lines actually change the title variable. You will never know. You already write it, you forgot it, and you cannot reach back. There is no way in the programming that you can tell, you can ask the code who changed you. You cannot know.
Yeah.
You can never know. It's your code, you write it, you forgot it, it's gone. So the only way to control and protect your variables against wrong assignment or wrong, so wrong assignment means that I come in the one line of code like that. So okay, no, wait, I don't want to
Okay,
do it.
wait. So then, real quick before you talk about the next thing, I had a real quick question.
Yes.
So when you used to do those, like you said, 1,000 line codes, and then if it was just you writing it, I mean, most of the time when you're working on a specific like projects, that has to be multiple people writing code, correct?
Not necessary. No, no,
Not
no,
necessarily, but
no,
when it
no, no, no,
was
no.
no, no, but when it was multiple people,
Uh-huh.
then how did you guys do that? Because then wouldn't it be get like multiple people working at the same time, like
Yes. So yes, of course. So when we was multiple people, um, see, I have faced that when we even working remotely on that. So what we do is that um, we have to use some kind of design first
uh-huh.
before we. So we cannot the three of us start working on the same code without a prior assignment of the tasks. So we
Mhm.
have to say, okay, for example, Moise, in the previous class, which is assignment L11, you have two
Yeah.
classes. You have a table class and you have a customer class. Am I right?
Mhm. Yes,
Okay.
customer table.
Okay. So if we are multiple teams, I would say, Moise, please handle the customer class and do
Oh,
all the methods inside and the implementation inside. And
okay.
then I
That
take
makes sense.
care of the table class. I handle all. And then
Okay.
we give to a third guy um, taking care of the main code that calls both the customer and the table.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was about to ask about like when it overlaps, who handles those?
You have to sit the three of you and decide because but again, so in the in the current way that you're seeing the code here, you need an extra documents, you need to create extra documents that actually specify what you provide to your colleague and what you expect from your colleague and what he expects from you.
I
So
see.
typically you have to come up with a, like when they give you a class
Uh-huh.
at the moment as a homework, you find them defining for you what is the name of the methods. So you this is the first thing that you do, even without designing anything. You have to name what methods come out from that class. Oh, I
Okay.
want to rent a book, or no, not rent a book. I want to assign a table, or I want to clear a table. This is a method that you have done in your previous assignment.
Yeah.
So I didn't yet write the code inside the method, but at
Mhm.
least I know that this kind of table class will have three methods and three variables. How I handle them inside, it is my colleague job to handle how the class internal things work. But
So
my job,
I imagine like the hardest part of like this group stuff would still be like, everybody has like different backgrounds. Like there's many ways you can code. So like coming up with like one focus and like grouping your ideas together and
yes,
like or
yes,
like you don't want to have like any arguments too, right? Like so I imagine that's still like a major part, right?
yes, exactly. That's why they come up with two titles or two jobs here. Um,
Uh-huh.
one job is a project manager, and the second job is a product manager. So
Okay.
that kind of discussions and what to include and what to do and this kind of things. So it either fall on either one of them, or if it is a bigger, so big team that
Uh-huh.
have maybe 20, maybe 10, 20 people, then there might be a team lead even under that. So that
Okay.
is the job of the team lead to 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 do the design. So, and actually sometimes even when it is a complex solution, you will have a guy who is his job is called software architecture. So he will create
Yeah.
the design even of the classes. So he will create the design for you people, and then he will tell you, oh, you handle that kind of
Oh, I
object
see.
or class. So he will even decide what kind of interface that come out and what kind of interaction between every class and another. So
Okay.
UML that you studied UML in a very light manner. In one of the
Yes,
slides, I
a
see
little
UML.
bit. Yes,
So
very little.
yes, but even if you study more, there is something called activity diagrams, and there is component diagrams. So when you do this kind of diagrams, then it will show you, oh, this object interact with that object using that interface. So
I
when you have a big picture of maybe 30 or 40 objects or classes that is talking to each other and is drawing not as a code but as a drawing. So now, yes, the interaction is not haphazard and it's not delayed until the last moment. Oh, you have done that part, you should have done that part. But no, you have a fixed design
Uh-huh.
that the software architecture do it, and then you have to always refer to that and you have to follow that. And of course, if you face technical difficulty and you need to add a more interaction between a class or another due to a problem or a bug that you are facing, so again you have to refer back to the person who done the architecture or the design. He have to
Mhm.
modify it and he have to inform everybody so everybody can change their code accordingly. So that
And
is how
then
it works.
a
He
lot of,
illustrates how it
and
works.
then there would be specific people just to handle the exceptions and errors too, right?
No, you have to handle that exception and errors. But so again, every programmer have to write how to say, have to test his code. So you haven't taken any. I'm not sure. Maybe you will take that in the coming weeks. I'm not sure. Most probably they will give it to you. So there is kind of way that you
Mhm.
are able to do a basic testing for your code. Okay.
Okay.
So once it's called unit test. This is just the basic form of testing. So okay, the basic. So just as simple as that, you write an add class. So you define here add class, add a method, sorry, and it take X and Y, and it will do. So can you see my screen? Can you
Yes.
see what I wrote? So
Yes.
this define method here that I put here, it you add two numbers and return the result. Okay. And if I want to write a test unit class, I mean a test method, so I would say um, I I pass it. I say test passing this add function 5 and 6,
Uh-huh.
okay, and test if the result is 11. So if I pass it 5 and 6 and the result I get is 11, it means that this function is working. So there is a code that you can write, 2 or 3 lines that you can write
Uh-huh.
that can test that your function do the job it should be doing. And that's why unit test only works when you write simple functions. So they
Okay.
encourage you to divide. So don't write long function that do a lot of things. They will tell you divide the big function into smaller functions that do things for you so
Wait,
that you are able to test it.
if it's two, like you said, it's like two lines, could you give me show me an example what it looks like?
Unit test, yes, we can do that, but
Or just like one, like I'm curious to see what it looks like.
let me see some code. Yes, let me see some code where we get that. Okay,
Because I think we might cover that.
yes, definitely you will cover that. Wait, give me a second. I will check. Moise, we have to close and open again. Sorry.
Okay, no worries.